Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing the person earning half your salary is secretly becoming richer than you every single month. Not because they got lucky, not because they started a business, not because they invested in some insane stock or crypto gamble, but because they understand one financial truth almost nobody notices until it's too late. A truth so powerful that some people earning $50,000 quietly end up with more freedom, more savings, less stress, and more control over their lives than people making $200,000 a year. And the worst part? You might already be losing thousands of dollars every single month without even seeing where it's going. Not through scams, not through gambling, through completely normal purchases that feel harmless, tiny upgrades, small monthly payments, little rewards you barely think about anymore. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why some people stay financially trapped forever no matter how much money they earn, while others slowly build invisible wealth that changes their entire future. Because the biggest financial trap in America isn't being poor, it's looking rich while secretly becoming dependent on every paycheck just to survive. Somewhere in your city right now, there's a person making six figures who checks their bank account with anxiety every single morning. They have the luxury apartment, the giant television, the expensive car, the newest phone, the premium subscriptions, the vacations, the perfect social media photos, and yet behind all of it sits a terrifying reality nobody else can see. If their income stopped for a few months, their entire lifestyle would begin collapsing almost immediately. Meanwhile, 10 minutes away, someone earning nearly half as much is sleeping peacefully tonight because they discovered something most people never learn until they've already wasted years chasing the wrong version of success. And once you understand this difference, you'll never look at money the same way again, because real wealth is almost invisible. Financial peace is invisible. Freedom is invisible. The world trains people to admire visible success while ignoring the invisible stability that actually matters. That's why millions of people spend their entire lives trying to look financially successful instead of becoming financially secure. And those are two completely different lives. One creates pressure, the other creates freedom. One requires constant maintenance, the other quietly grows stronger over time. One depends on continued income every month, the other eventually becomes independent from it. The scary part is that most people fall into the trap slowly. Nobody wakes up one day and decides to become financially trapped. It happens through small decisions that feel completely normal. A slightly nicer apartment after a raise, a car upgrade because you deserve it, a bigger television because everyone has one now, more subscriptions, more convenience, more delivery, more luxury, more status, more monthly payments quietly stacking on top of each other until eventually your lifestyle becomes a machine that consumes nearly every dollar you earn. At first it feels exciting, then it feels normal, then it becomes impossible to maintain without constant work. And that's when people realize they don't own their lifestyle anymore. Their lifestyle owns them. Think about this carefully. There are people earning $250,000 a year who secretly feel financially trapped, and there are people earning $60,000 who feel calm, secure, and free. That sounds impossible until you understand the one thing that actually determines financial stability. It's not income, it's margin. The gap between what you earn and what you need. That gap changes everything. Because every extra dollar that doesn't get consumed by lifestyle becomes a soldier working for your future instead of disappearing into temporary comfort. Most people never build that gap because every time income rises, spending rises too. They never actually experience the benefit of earning more because lifestyle inflation quietly eats every raise before it has the chance to create freedom. The new car payment replaces the raise. The upgraded apartment replaces the raise. The luxury purchases replace the raise. And suddenly someone earning twice as much still feels financially stressed because their obligations expanded alongside their income. This is why high income alone rarely creates wealth. Without control, higher income often just creates a more expensive version of stress. And the modern world encourages this constantly. Everywhere you look, people are being trained to consume emotionally. Advertising rarely sells products anymore. It sells identity. The car doesn't just promise transportation, it promises status. The expensive clothes promise confidence. The luxury apartment promises success. The newest phone promises relevance. Every purchase whispers the same dangerous message. This will make you feel better. And for a very short moment, it works. The brain gets a hit of excitement. You feel upgraded. You feel successful. You feel rewarded. But then something predictable happens every single time. The feeling fades. Humans adapt incredibly fast. The thing that felt luxurious last month quickly becomes normal. Then boredom returns. And because boredom feels uncomfortable, people start searching for the next upgrade. This creates an endless cycle where satisfaction constantly moves further away no matter how much people buy. That's why some people spend their entire lives chasing financial success while somehow never feeling secure. They confuse consumption with progress. But possessions don't create peace. In fact, most possessions quietly create more pressure than happiness. Here's something almost nobody thinks about. Everything you own costs you money twice. The first cost is obvious, the purchase price. But the second cost is hidden, and in many cases it becomes even larger than the first. Every object you own takes up space. Organization, storage, insurance, upgrades, replacement, and mental energy. The more things you own, the more invisible responsibilities quietly accumulate around your life. People think they're buying convenience, but many times they're actually buying future obligations. That expensive treadmill isn't just a treadmill, it's floor space, it's maintenance, it's mental clutter, it's guilt every time you don't use it, it's money that could have been invested for years. Most people only calculate the visible cost. Financially intelligent people calculate the lifetime cost. That difference changes behavior completely. Because when you realize a random purchase doesn't just cost $500 today, but potentially thousands in future opportunity, unnecessary spending starts feeling less exciting. And this is where financially secure people separate themselves from everyone else. They ask a question most consumers never ask. Will this purchase increase my freedom or reduce it? That single question can transform your entire financial future. Because every recurring expense quietly reduces flexibility. Every unnecessary monthly payment decreases optionality. Every upgrade increases the amount of income your future self must continue earning forever just to maintain your current lifestyle. Over time, people accidentally build financial prisons disguised as successful lives. They become dependent on their paycheck, not because they're irresponsible, but because their obligations expanded faster than their freedom. Meanwhile, the people quietly building wealth often look surprisingly ordinary. Simple cars, modest homes, functional possessions, nothing flashy. But beneath that ordinary appearance sits something incredibly powerful: financial breathing room, margin, emergency savings, investments, flexibility, the ability to survive disruptions without panic, the ability to leave toxic environments, the ability to make decisions based on values instead of desperation. That's real wealth, not the appearance of success, the ability to control your own life. Social media has completely distorted how people think about money because platforms reward visible consumption. Nobody posts emergency funds online. Nobody posts index fund contributions. Nobody posts the satisfaction of being debt-free. People post vacations, cars, designer purchases, and luxury experiences because visible wealth creates attention. But attention and financial security are not the same thing. In many cases, they move in opposite directions. Some people are financing their image with anxiety while quietly falling further behind every month. Meanwhile, someone else is building real freedom privately with almost no external validation at all. 10 years later, one person still needs constant income to survive, while the other has options. That's the difference invisible discipline creates over time. And here's the terrifying part about lifestyle inflation. It almost never feels dangerous in the moment. Every individual upgrade feels reasonable. A slightly nicer couch, a bigger television, a newer phone, better furniture, premium subscriptions, small luxuries everywhere. No single decision ruins someone financially. It's the accumulation of hundreds of tiny, normal decisions that slowly drain future freedom year after year. Financial destruction usually doesn't happen dramatically. It happens quietly through convenience, through comfort, through boredom, through emotional spending disguised as self-care. And because modern culture normalizes all of it, people rarely notice the trap until they feel stuck. One of the biggest differences between financially trapped people and financially free people is how they define enough. Most people never define it at all, so their expectations keep expanding forever. When they earn more, they immediately raise their lifestyle to match. The goalposts constantly move. But financially intelligent people create a finish line early. They decide what level of house, car, clothing, and comfort genuinely improves their life instead of endlessly upgrading for status. Once enough is defined, additional income stops feeding consumption and starts building freedom instead. That's when wealth accelerates, because someone earning $90,000 while living comfortably on $50,000 builds financial power rapidly. Meanwhile, someone earning the same amount while spending $88,000 stays trapped despite the high income. Again, income matters far less than margin. The world tells people to focus on earning more, but many times the faster path to freedom is needing less. That doesn't mean deprivation, it means intentionality. Financially secure people still spend money. Sometimes they spend aggressively on things that genuinely improve daily life, but they eliminate unconscious spending. They stop buying things for temporary emotional relief. They stop upgrading out of boredom. They stop trying to impress strangers who aren't paying their bills anyway. And slowly, something powerful begins happening. Their savings grow. Their stress decreases. Their confidence rises. The need to constantly consume weakens. Because once genuine financial security starts building, external status becomes less emotionally necessary. Money in the bank starts creating something purchases never could: peace. Peace changes behavior. Peace reduces desperation. Peace allows clearer thinking. And eventually, financially secure people discover something almost shocking in modern society. Owning less often feels better than owning more. Less clutter, less stress, less maintenance, less pressure, less financial obligation, more flexibility, more control, more freedom, more clarity. The strange irony is that many people spend years chasing luxury hoping it will make them feel powerful, only to realize later that true power was always the ability to say no. No to toxic jobs, no to panic, no to financial desperation, no to living paycheck to paycheck, no to constant anxiety about the future. And that ability comes from margin, not appearances. The wealthiest feeling in the world isn't driving an expensive car. It's knowing you could survive without one. It's knowing your life doesn't collapse if income temporarily stops. It's knowing emergencies don't instantly become catastrophes. That feeling cannot be purchased through status. It can only be built slowly through intentional decisions repeated consistently over time. A person constantly chasing identity through purchases is infinitely more profitable. That's why society constantly pushes the idea that success should look expensive. But many of the people who look rich are financing that image with stress. And many of the people quietly becoming wealthy look completely ordinary from the outside, because real wealth compounds invisibly for years before anyone notices it publicly. Investments grow silently, savings grow silently, financial peace grows silently, optionality grows silently, and eventually those invisible decisions create visible freedom. The person who once drove an older car suddenly has enough savings to leave a toxic career. The person who avoided endless upgrades suddenly has investments generating income. The person who ignored social pressure suddenly owns their time instead of selling every hour just to maintain appearances. This is why the most important financial question isn't how much do you make, it's how much freedom are your habits creating? Because every dollar either purchases future freedom or future obligation. Every decision compounds in one direction or the other. And once you truly understand that, money stops being about looking successful. It starts becoming about building a life that actually feels secure when nobody else is watching.